The paladin of Shadowline's drop, the keeper of Twilight Tea, the arcane chamberlain, in our chaos we live. Take what we have to give, break the pattern wild and free. Rules mean nothing here, we'll rise above the fear. Unchained now, here are we. We are the Unnaturals, yeah. Not what you planned at all. Dancing on the edge we dare. Never watch us fall. These streets at night, no shadows in the light. We're the echoes fading fast. We are the Unnaturals, follow a curse or werewolf. Tempest Stormbringer, tough for the great one, feel a rebel fire. We ignite your last desire, burning up now, never last. We are the Unnaturals, yeah. Not what you planned at all. Dancing on the edge we dare. Never watch us.
We're connected.
I believe so.
Alrighty. Let me just make sure everything's working. Everything's working. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching our Tavern Talk episode 8 stream, where we're gonna continue talking about our D&D game. Isn't that funny?
Yes, extremely funny.
Oh, you're just having a blast, aren't you?
Yeah, oodles and oodles of fun.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad. We're about to get to my favorite part.
That's also true, yeah.
But yeah, before we jump into that, obviously we want to say thank you guys for watching, liking, subbing, subscribing, all the fun things, everything awesome. Thank you. But I believe, the worst one would like to talk about a certain Streamlabs thing.
Yes. Yes. So, as you guys can see, here we are. I've got my camera up and everything. So, yeah, well, I got it up, yeah. So, we're happy to bring to you guys Streamlabs Ultra. It's a platform we use in order to make our channels, both our channels, and customize them individually to our own preferences and tastes. As you can see from the Better Ones page, how he has his setup and everything, background, music, all that is all his own. And mine is different, and I've changed it 3 times now. And yeah, I like the diversity and the different things you can have on here to really make it your own and make it feel like something great. We can't recommend it enough. You can take your content creation game to another level, and we cannot recommend it enough. And with that, we are actually have an affiliate link with Streamlabs Ultra for anyone that wants to start their content creating journey, or just want to make goof videos. If you have like videos you want to make and put on YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, etc. about Facebook, about tech, comedy, movies, games, etc. You name it. We recommend Streamlabs Ultra. And if you use our affiliate link, which will be in the description below on all our videos, and we'll have it here somewhere. And if you use our link, it helps out the channel tremendously, and it'll help you guys on your journey to making great videos. And for anyone that uses our affiliate link and makes their first video and has it all set up the way you want, please send us your first video because we want to see everyone's different tastes and what they do and their video. We want to see everyone's like creativity using Streamlabs Ultra. We can't recommend it enough. Yeah. A lot of screaming. Hold on. I do have two special guests for. All right, I'm about to go get them. So just give me a second. All right. All right. Yes, 100%. Well, I'm sorry. I guess I only got one guest. I have the better one on the other line, and you have the worst one, and now we have that one right here. He's another little unnatural in the natural family, right here, and this is that one. He's that guy. He's that one, and he wanted to be a part of the intro right here to say hi to everybody. Go ahead, say hi to everybody.
Sup, everyone. I'm so nervous I cannot express it.
Alright. We're gonna get into the tavern talk, so I am ready. Staring down the Leviathan in the water plane. Oh, yeah, my panic attack. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Around it, but it's no longer like generating that warmth that it normally does just standing near it. You basically have to cook yourself in fire to stay warm. And so Neverwinter is on the verge of not only reeling from multiple attacks from multiple different dimensions that seem to have just collapsed. But yeah.
Yes.
So that happens, and then on top of that, we have to deal with the fact that they come back to this recently developed blood hunters. Someone remember those blood hunters?
Yes, we got to the blood hunters. That's where I thought we left off. We left off in. We left off in the water plane or in Boulder's Gate?
In Neverwinter. You guys never went to Boulder's Gate in this game.
Boulder's Gate. Okay.
So you guys, so literally the ship had just docked. You guys entered to the material plane, Neverwinter, and this is everything you guys see right off the bat. And those new blood hunters are, it's a mixture of cocky attitude with why am I going to listen to this random dude that shows up on a ship, right? Sort of attitude that they give you.
Yeah.
Val, they straight up just go like, "Who are you to tell me what to do? You didn't indoctrinate me. I don't know what you are." And that happened. They were also trying to help Neverwinter rebuild because there was orphanages within Neverwinter that were just gone now. And then on top of that, there was like medical centers slash hospitals that were gone, temples that were destroyed by the attacks, all this sort of stuff. And the party basically goes like, okay, we need to split up, and we need to figure this out as best we can. And each party member basically went off and tried to did their own thing. Like the paladins went off to rebuild some temples, the barbarian started to go around and help like move construction around. I believe the sorcerer, she went around and basically gathered all the kids and was like bringing them to a safe place. Val, with T's help, eventually trekked up to the Blood Hunter stronghold.
Yeah,
Do you remember the Blood Hunter stronghold?
The Blood Hunter stronghold, which was on the overlooking cliff of Neverwinter. Yeah. When we was it after the siege that we approached? It was after the siege, right?
It was your second time returning to Neverwinter, which is what this was, and you guys walked up to the Blood Hunter stronghold.
That's right, and it was
They had, for a better term, they followed the show Vikings very well.
yes. Like we came strolling up, and there was blood and gore.
Strung up all over the walls. It was,
Unholy G. Aaron is very quiet.
but yeah, it was strung up across the walls, the doors, the gates, kind of like a foreboding signal to not enter. Well, Val, being Val, he stepped in, and as soon as he stepped in, Val and T started seeing rising from the ground was something even more unnatural, zombie blood hunters.
Yes, there was a lot of undead blood hunters. There was a lot of just mutilated corpses. Period. And it was bad. It was like super bad.
Mm-hmm. Your whole quest for coming here, though, was to get the stuff that was locked in the armory, if you remember, because you wanted some of those artifacts that the blood hunters kept safe here, and it was one of those things where it's like you're not sure if they're still hidden here, you're not sure if you still have access to them, you're not sure what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. I'll let you take it from here real quick if I deal with
Okay.
something.
Absolutely. So basically, as Val and T sort of step into this sort of destructive temple and they start seeing the undead rise, they try to fight them off for as long as they can. They do a decent job because they are zombies, but they have blood hunter abilities, and some of them are still able to lichen out into their lichen forms, but as undead, which was creepy and crazy. And they were uncontrollable. And so essentially they kept fighting, and then eventually they started realizing this is becoming a worse situation. We need to get out of here. So T grabs Val and they dimension door out as far as they can, and they make it back to Neverwinter after running from the Bloodhunter Temple, and they basically gather the party after this happens, and the party gathers and they're like, we need to reclaim this temple because there are some very powerful artifacts for myself there that I need to reclaim, and we have to do this. And so Val and the rest of the group was like in an agreement. They had to do this. And so what did our party members do after the ship was barely resurrected? It was basically given let's hop in the ship and let's start flying there toward to the fort, which was hilarious. So as they started gathering their things and started making their way to the fort on their flying ship, mind you, that still needed to recharge.
That was the best part.
So they flew over there and they started bombarding the ship with cannonballs. As new storm sorcerer abilities to zap through them. Tove swinging with his new great sword that he's recently gotten that's made of pure ice that he seemed to have been able to conjure from pure rage itself. And then you have Val and you have
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
You're good.
Val, I'm dealing with technical difficulty. Apparently, I'm very quiet on here, and I asked, "Is it better?" And they said, "Nope."
Okay. Well, you can also turn it up individually on Streamlabs as well. But basically, as this sort of happens, they make their way through the fort and they make it all the way down to the basement after fighting multiple young bred blood hunters that were just recently turned. And as they fight through all these blood hunters, they make it through to the bottom, worn out, spell slots drained, life dwindling, basically. And they finally are able to. They finally make it to the basement, and the artifacts can be collected.
Yes, the artifacts can be collected. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to fix this sound issue.
Yeah. You're good. I mean, like I said, you can turn it up individually on Streamlabs. Turn up your mic on Streamlabs.
I did turn up my mic on Streamlabs.
Hmm.
I believe I have, yes, and I hope that's not picking
Cool.
up any other one.
Okay. But basically, as this happens and you make it to the bottom, you realize the Blood Razor is definitely missing. The sword of your clan, of your sort of religion, your cult, your people.
Yeah.
It is missing. And you only see what is left is some basic blood hunter armor and
Some basic blood hunter armor, a amulet, and I think it was some scrolls and books, wasn't it?
no scrolls. You got a broken gun.
Oh yeah, that's right, a broken gun. The gun that I never used.
Mm-hmm.
The gun that I gave to Tat.
Yep. But basically that sort of happens, and then you guys leave the fort, and you try to fix up fix up the gun as best as you can, and Tat is actually given your gun, by you, and
After we fix it.
yeah, you fix it in parentheses as best you can. As this sort of happens, you guys make your way back to Neverwinter, and you see the other blood hunters that are there. begin to almost have like this red hue in their eyes, and then another battle ensues. As another battle ensues, you begin to attack each other, and the blood hunters start going feral throughout the city, if you remember that.
Yes, they started losing control of their blood curses. But while me and T, when we got up into the blood hunter sanctum, we ran into the what'd you call them? The dark five, the dark 3 or 4, or whatever it was.
Oh, you're talking about, oh yeah, the ancient lore. I'm so glad my player here remembers. Yes, so while they were in the fort, they discovered, well, didn't really discover because Val knew, but he didn't have it on him at all given times. It was kind of like the ancient history of the Blood Hunters and how they were crafted. And one of them, one of the lore pieces was there were 3 blood hunters that started each sect of the blood hunters. There was one for the Order of the Ghost Slayer, one for the Profane Soul, one for the Lycan, and then later, as the blood mutations took on more and more effect, eventually mutagens started to appear.
That's right, mutagens. Well, thank
Um,
you, Unholy Ginger 98. I know that, and I don't know why I'm pretty quiet. I mean, I got my mic right here to my face. If you could tell me that if me speaking closer to the mic is more helpful or away from it's more helpful, because I'll still have to tinker with the audio. It might just be the camera. That's also because the camera has an audio thing to it, and I got it muted. So I don't know if that's the issue or not, but let me know if this is working better.
so
Closer is more
basically,
helpful. All right, gotcha.
it normally is better to talk closer to your mic.
You know
Worst
what?
one.
No one asked you. Better one. All right, I'm talking to our audience. I'm talking to Unholy Ginger 98, and they have been more helpful than you have in this past 10 minutes of me fidgeting with stuff and clicking buttons that I don't know what do.
Oh, well, dang, that stinks. As our party fights the blood hunters taking effect within Neverwinter right now, they end up pushing back those blood hunters and slaying as many as they could, and then some run off into the woods that they realize they'll have to deal with at a later time, but they can't deal with them right this very second. All of a sudden,
Hold on.
uh,
I do want to
mhm,
preference that
yeah,
for blood hunters and the established lore in our world
yeah,
is that there are 4 sects, 4 different, what do you want to call them?
orders.
Orders of the blood hunters, all right, and the Lycan, the Profane Soul, the what was the other one? Oh,
Ghost Slayer
Ghost
and
Slayer
Mutagen.
and Mutagen, right? The Mutagen more along the lines of like
It came later. It's when they started experimenting.
yeah, but it started out with the original 3 orders,
Yeah.
which there was,
Um.
and
Yeah.
when the city, when we started pushing back, and so did the guards and the local folk, and everything from the blood hunters that succumbed to their savagery and all that kind of stuff. There was were rats, were tigers, were wolves, were I think wasn't there a couple were bears?
There wasn't werebears. There were tigers because werebears is normally for alignment lawful good. They normally So when they funny fact, when a were creature loses control, they start doing things based off of they're like essentially like shifted forms alignment, and werebears are lawful good. So when they shift and they lose control, they start doing lawful good things. So there wasn't any werebears. It was werewolves, were tigers, were rats. That was basically all that was there.
I believe that I think you may be right, because in my head I was like, we did away with the lawful nature of the beast within. It's just like you're a beast, so you do bestial things no matter what your where is. But it just depends on how savage or what it happens in terms on that. I thought that's what we did. I may be remembering incorrectly, but anyway, a bunch of them
Hmm.
scampered off into the woods, we don't know how many people were infected with lycanthropy and been possessed by ghosts or had curses put on them by the profane souls. It was a legitimate nightmare. And when we got up to we need to go step by step in when we got to the Blood Hunter Fort. And
Okay.
we got to think of, if anyone's seen, and this is what is in my head, you correct me if I'm wrong, DM, or better one, but in my head, when you described it, it was legitimately like opening up the doors to the Rohirrim in Lord of the Rings. Like when Aragorn opens up those big doors, and it's got that grand like hall thing going on there, very Viking-esque. But there was a lot of like furs and more, D&D kind of thing. And at the very end, like where the 3 seats of power for the Blood Hunter Order originally was there, sat what did you call that? What was that group called? You had a cool name for it. It was
The three starters.
yeah. The evil group that you had going on outside was playing the followers of Vecna or followers of Jameson.
I got you. So yeah, the followers so Jameson's followers, correct?
Yes,
That's
yes.
what you're asking about. Okay.
The
So
Legion and shit.
they weren't followers of Jameson. They were followers of Vecna. And they were considered so their name, because you met them there. Thank you for reminding me.
They were in the Blood Hunter.
Oh yeah, and they almost absolutely destroyed you. So basically, they were called Eternity, Death, Oblivion, and Endless.
Yeah, but you had a group name for them that was something. It was like the Eternal Four or something like that. Or
Oh yeah, it was called the Unendings. They were the Unendings. They followed Vecna. Canonically, this was my second group that was playing in this world that was an evil campaign, and they were followers of Vecna. Their campaign name was Vecna's Lobby, and they consisted of a monk. That was, I think it was a monk mixed with Echo Knight Fighter, and he was a Way of the Hand monk. And then we had a fighter that I believe was full battle master. And then we had a cleric that went Death Cleric, that was a cleric under Vecna. And we had a druid that was a follower of Vecna as well. And their names as follows was Death, Oblivion, Eternity. Yeah, it was Death, Oblivion, Eternity, and I believe Endless. Those were their 4 names. And the cleric was actually the way me and my player that was in the evil campaign made it. It was essentially the first Warforged that Vecna ever made, and it was made from scraps of human pieces. So it looked like a flesh golem, but with Warforged capability.
Yeah, it was essentially homunculus, right?
No, it was a Warforged, like fully, like it was an automaton Warforged, just like normal.
What I'm saying is that like when you stitch pieces together, like of different parts, it's called homunculus.
It's called he was a golem, for all intents and purposes. He was basically a golem. That was crafted.
The damn monk.
The monk was human, and the scariest part about the human monk was across his body, like carved into every ounce of skin across his body, was tattooed and was carved in every language the word silence, and his mouth was sewn shut.
It was pretty gnarly the way he described him. It was nuts.
The monk had the ability to, whenever he ran up to a person and start fighting them, he could cast silence from one of his magic items, and that's why he had that pasted all around him because one of them was a magic tattoo that he could cast silence, and he did. Around T and Tat, he got right up in their faces, immediately casted silence, and then started to wail on them, and they couldn't do anything because they were silenced.
On them, he did. For
I think he got T and Tat down in one turn because he had action surge, haste, and he silenced them with a magic item plus his bonus action. He got them all down to, I think, below half in his first turn of meeting them. He got Tat and T down to below half.
Oh, 100%. Because they
And
were the
then-
ones that killed
Yep.
the Kraken.
Oh yeah, they later find out that they were the ones that killed the Kraken during this fight, which was honestly even cooler.
It
But
was
basically,
not cooler, it was awful.
But basically, they keep fighting them, and they get to the point to where the Leonin is keeping them away from the monk because he's a fighter battle master, and he is wailing on the barbarian and hitting him like 4 times in one turn because he's also hasted, and he's a pure fighter, so he already has 3.
I do have something to show the audience, because now that I have my webcam, I can show them the original minis that we had for the Unnaturals. This right here,
Yep.
it's probably my camera then that's on, if I had to be honest. But this is Val right here.
Okay.
Right here, I'm just showing the audience. This is my mini for Val. And when he shifted, he became this werewolf at first, half white, half black, and had the corresponding stripes to it. But after making a pact with Loki, the newborn god Hogan was bestowed the wings, he could transform into a Pterolycus instead of just a lichen. And we made this. It is my winged werewolf or Pterolycus form that Val could shift into, which was pretty dang cool. And I still have the minis and I cherish them to this very day. Sorry to cut you
Absolutely.
off. Go on.
No, you're fine. Also, to change that in Streamlabs, just to cut back, if you go to your microphone properties, you can switch to your regular microphone. That's probably what you need to do.
Alright, go to my microphone.
Microphone properties, and then just do that. But as I explain this, basically, as they were fighting, the Leonin was wailing on the barbarian as well as the self-healing paladin, essentially. I'm not listening to you, so hopefully they respond. But basically, okay, as they wail on you all, you guys realize, okay, this is becoming a bad situation really quickly. You guys, right at the verge where you guys believe, oh, we're going to die here. This is where we're going to die because the druid was still at full health, and in wild shape form. The cleric was in the back just casting spells, and he seemed to have like this weird sort of eye looking at you all that's kept twitching. You guys later found out he was holding one of the eyes of Vecna. Which was really fun.
Now have my mic on, I do believe. It should be a lot better now that I got it fixed.
Yep.
Thank you, Unholy Ginger. J Games, shut up.
Look, the best one did it. But anyway.
Wait, I got a technical question for you, better one.
Oh, God. Like a D&D tactical question?
More like a logistic one. It's like here in the real world. Is that
Okay.
if you're the better one, if I'm the worst one, and the child is that one, what's my brother?
The meh one?
The meh one. I'm putting that in my context now.
Okay. But anyway, as you guys finish, like
The
your guys'
handsome one, he
turn,
says. The handsome one. Sure.
a-
I'll let him
as you
have it.
guys, as you guys finish fighting, and you guys are left with basically nothing left, like at all. immediately you guys see them leave. They just kind of look at you and they all sort of like tilt their hat to you and they leave and they just fully leave and they leave you this sort of orb that just rolls over to the ground to you, and you see the Leonin wink at you all and he says, "We'll catch you next time," as they sort of like fade into like shadow and darkness
That's
right
right.
before they kill you,
That's right.
because they were gonna TPK you.
Oh yeah, 100%. What color was the orb again?
This orb was gray.
Gray.
It was another devastation orb.
I know. Like I can't remember because we. This is the one we plug into the
The plane of air.
no, the ship. Which one do we plug into the ship?
The one you plug into the ship, you don't find until later. You get that one. You get that one soon, very very soon.
Yeah, it's been, guys. Bear with me. I'm glad that the better one has like better notes on this. Like I can remember. Crazy,
He remembers
crazy
basically what
moments.
he did, and he doesn't even remember his
No,
character sheet.
no.
Let's be honest.
No, that's not necessarily true. I remember cool moments in the story, or like pivotal moments, emotional moments. I remember those. I don't remember the nitty gritty stuff because I will admit I was in the mindset of my character, and a lot of this that we're describing right now, our entire table was like, we gotta get the fuck out of here, and our whole mindset was get out, survive, get out. That was legitimately the entire mind process. Like as soon as we thought we could take those assholes, and as soon as that monk silenced and wallywopped our two mages, our barbarian, who is legitimately under
Their super
suspect,
tank.
our super tank, which is suspiciously turning into a dragon. We're not sure why, and or even that it is happening, but it's very suspicious that he has a scaled arm now, and starts mollywop and like starts like going hell, like reckless rage, and tries to smack down on this Leonin, and this Leonin swats our barbarian like nothing. And then what was the other one?
The other one was a cleric and then a druid, which
Yeah.
was the druid alone was scary because the fact every time you got him to shift out of his form, he would just shift into another one because he
That's
was
right.
a circle of the moon,
That's right.
and he just kept becoming different and different creatures, and he was just keeping the barbarian and
No,
he was
here,
keeping-
I remember this now.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
You
gonna
go.
I'm gonna set the scene for everybody. As
Okay.
soon as we're like we're too big for our britches at this point, right? We're level 13, 14,
You were 13.
something like, yeah. We're 13. I just got a dark augmentation, and we just got a bunch of cool stuff. So,
Yeah, I made sure they just leveled up before this fight so they would feel strong.
yeah. So like we thought, well, you know what? We're big boys now. We're big boys and girls. We're
Yeah.
just gonna smash these.
We're
fucking
teenagers.
down. Yeah, yeah. No, we're grown adults. We pay taxes
Well-
and shit. So like, we go in on them, and the first one that happens is that our two mages, because we have a very, we played together so long that we developed a rapport on how our characters interact with each other in combat, and our two mages sat in the back so they would sling spells and healing if necessary. And then we had our cleric and our barbarian, who are like our super tank shields that would like get the aggro and get the enemies on them. And then you had your damage dealers, which was Varici and Val, which is me. And Varici's our paladin sorcerer. So like he's a glass cannon, but if he hits you so like he'd kill you. Like most things he can kill in one hit. But so we're going in. That monk used key points or whatever, and just like jolted over, silenced our spellcasters. Our cleric was trying to deal with the other cleric, and our barbarian rushed the Leonin and was getting like beaten like a unwanted stepchild. And then Varici and Val dove for the druid, because Varici and Val knew that the druid was going to be a hit point sponge. if it because like it wild shaped, and when it wild shaped the first time, Varici smoked it one hit, dropped it out of it. I think either that one hit or it was the second hit, or second hit from me, dropped them out of their wild shape. But they had something to where they could wild shape again. And
Yeah, he had multiple wild shapes.
and he wild shaped again as Val tried to hybrid transformation, and was like, you ever seen a cat look at a mouse and then swat the mouse, and it was like a real quick hammer down, and that mouse is just laying there like, what the hell happened? That's what happened to us. Like, they just beating the crap out of us. And yes, this is D&D. This is Tavern Talk J Games, and we're talking about our campaign where me and the Better One met, established our friendship, and built an amazing and beautiful and wonderful story. And that's where we came up with the Unnaturals and the Unnaturals and the logo, and that's how we transferred it over to YouTube and stuff like that. You can check it out on our channel. Just look up Tavern Talk and have a playlist there. You can go from first video all the way down. Sorry, I'm just answering
You're
questions
fine.
on the chat.
But yeah, I mean, you're completely correct. Like, basically, like, after you guys fought and stared down a Leviathan. You guys have also killed Strahd. You guys have also done a bunch of these epic things.
We killed a
But
dragon.
this was the first. You didn't kill it, remember? You separated it from the brain thing that was on its head,
No,
and it flew off.
I could have sworn we killed a white and/or black dragon.
You guys have not killed another dragon at this point yet.
Not in the Amber Temple.
No, there wasn't. There wasn't dragons in the Ember Temple. It was your doppelgangers.
No, there was the gold or silver dragon that was in prison there.
You got. Well, you guys were supposed to fight an undead dragon, but Toph's request was, "I wish for the undead dragon to be freed."
Yeah.
And he freed his soul, and the undead dragon disappeared.
That's right. I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the running.
You would have
gag.
fought a dragon. You would have fought a dragon.
Yeah, that was the running gag throughout the campaign since the beginning of the campaign. Very beginning levels, like level 6 or 7.
Well, it was when you guys freed Vecna, back when you guys were level 8.
It wasn't even that. It's like we got to a point. Losers can't even kill a dragon. Shut up. Lame one. You're the lame one. I'm changing that on my context for you now.
But basically, you guys.
Hold on, I want to tell them this gag because this was so true until the legit last 3 levels that we could get to, like level 17, is that every time we had a chance to fight a dragon,
Something would happen.
to do the D&D thing, the medieval, yes, we're gonna kill a dragon.
Yep.
Something story-wise or something we did would prevent us from reaching glory and taking on a dragon. Toph wishing that the undead dragon was freed, so it's soldierly, so we didn't fight that dragon. There was another dragon, I forget where, but then the brain dragon, and we were able to separate it from the blue dragon, from the dragon. Instead, we saved that dragon,
and it flew off.
And then it flew off, and then we befriended one, and it helped us, and it never fought it. So we didn't fight a freaking dragon until
Yeah, and then you guys had the Changeling T, Mr. T.
Yeah, the Changeling T. Yeah, but we did not fight a damn dragon until legitimately level 17 or 18, and it wasn't just any dragon. That's when the DM was like, "I'm just gonna
we'll get to that dragon. We'll get to that dragon.
We'll get there."
But basically, to explain what the worst one is saying,
the Changeling Unholy Ginger is T.
Yes. they at this point had been through so much, and to just get mollywopped across the floor, literally dog walked
Oh my god, yeah.
across the floor with these other adventurers. They had never faced a party of adventurers. Like, this wasn't just like a random group of villains they were fighting, or like a random group of cult of druids, or cannibalistic druids, or a monster. No, these were tactically thinking, powered up individuals. They were also adventurers like them, and they got absolutely bodied by these guys,
Oh yeah,
and they weren't
think
expecting it.
Avengers, Avengers Infinity War where Thanos just puts the smack and his cronies put the smack down on Thor, the Hulk,
Mhm.
Loki. Like that's how brutal of a beatdown it was. It was bad. It was so bad.
Oh yeah, it was honestly, like, I felt bad for them because I was rolling natural 20s like crazy that game, and and the scarier part is they had items that would mitigate their natural 20s to where, like, and they can crit on, like, I believe, I could be wrong, the battle master fighter, he could crit on 18s because of two magic items he had. He had the Butcher's Bib, which constantly bled on him, and then he had this other magic item that lowered his crit rating, his crit number down even one more. So I was rolling crits like crazy on the Battle Master, and he also had this very magical, powerful sword that was just cutting through defenses like crazy. Um, and it got scary. Like, they got to the point to where, like, they were almost just fully killed. Like, I can't put that enough. Like, the looks in their eyes when they realized, like, oh, this isn't a winnable battle. This is death. This is what death feels like.
Yeah, it got so close. Oh shit, it got so close.
Not even that. It got, like, I remember after they left, like, they fully just looked at you guys broken, beaten, and bleeding. And this was literally it. Like, you guys thought it was over because I had it set up to where, like, you guys got to go first, like, on initiative order. You guys got to go first, and they went last. They look at the end of, I believe the last person to go was Tat because she had the last turn, and because she rolled the lowest initiative. It basically, you all looked at each other and you were just like, well, we'll see who dies first and we'll try to resurrect them. And they all looked at you and just said, well, we gotta go, we've already done our quest here, we're just a distraction. And they give you a wink and they vanish away into, like, shadow. And you all just kind of sit there. What was going through your mind as a player when they just leave like that? Like, they show off their power, say they're just a distraction, and then leave.
That that was only part of Val immediately because Val's three high stats was strength, intelligence, and upcoming charisma was building. So his intuitive mind, his intuitive mind
Mm-hmm.
and tactical mind knew that that was only part of the mission or the ruse for the mission, is that they were here for something.
Mm-hmm.
And that they got what they needed or they completed their mission. There was more to what was going on than just setting up a distraction. There's no way that's what this was all about. It was a distraction. There's plenty of different ways to distract us. There was a mind dragon. There was blood hunters all over the place. Mind flayers that came through the portal due to discourse and the instability of the realm. There was a multitude of easier ways to distract us. This was a message
Mm-hmm.
under the guise of, oh, I'm just distracting you because you guys might be a threat. But no, they were after something. They were looking for something, or they were trying to establish something. And we were key to completing that mission. We were just tools in what was going on, is what Val's conclusion came to.
Yep. And they were having so much fun doing that to you.
What's up? Far
After you guys basically left and after fighting and battling with these people, totally spent, all the undead blood hunters that were spawned around the fort do pass away and finally die because the death cleric that was there keeping them alive had vanished from the same plane. So those undead, the magic keeping them alive, those magic items that he was using, they were no longer within range, so they all just healed over, and you all breathed a sigh of relief, but also like looking at each other, you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, I see the thing that came up.
But as this sort of happens, you sort of like pull it all together, and you guys sort of like come together, and you're just like, okay, we need to go back, we need to figure this out. And then that's when you guys leave the Bloodhunter stronghold, you finding your some basic Bloodhunter armor and some the revolver, and you guys make it back to the ship. And then that's when all of a sudden I believe Linestra is the one who has like the divine intervention, like a celestial vision granted upon her, and it's the location of one of her two vestiges.
That's correct, yes.
And then that's when you guys are like, okay, where is it? And it was a riddle. The riddle basically came down to, I am in the coldest place and in the darkest place, and I have fallen 5 layers beneath hell. So basically, like, it given you like the full ruse of where it's located.
Yeah, we're going to the 9 levels of hell.
You guys were going to the 5th layer of hell. Is essentially where you guys are going.
Yeah.
And you guys were just like, you all kind of looked at each other and were like, well, hell.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think I said in character, I was like, well, at least I know there ain't no lightning storms.
Or so you think.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
But as you guys sort of make your way back to the city, that's when the blood hunters around the city start acting up. That's when you guys have another confrontation with those blood hunters. You guys push them back because they were nowhere near as strong as the adventuring party that you just faced. Thank God. And you guys push them back, and most of them disperse and run out of the city amongst the forests. And that is also when Tat gets a distress call from Gladys and the Fae saying, or should I say fake Gladys. She gets a distress call from her saying, Tat, there's something wrong in the Feywild. And before she can explain more, bursting out from the Fey gate next to Neverwinter, in the forest right next to Neverwinter, is a mass of Fey creatures escaping death. Because as you guys look at the gate to the Feywild, you see black twisting vines wrap around it and break it.
Yes.
So
this was I have a DM question for you before I wrap
Yes.
this up. So
Yes.
This was planned for what? How long? How long did you have this planned? Months?
Which part?
Everything,
All of it,
everything
or-
leading up to it, like as soon as we dropped into Neverwinter, everything, the blood hunters, the invasion, the subterfuge that pretending to be like you're doing something, all the way up to the blood hunter stronghold, introducing the dark warriors, and
The unendings.
the unendings, and having them smack us around, all the way down to where we get the gray crystal thing, to where we figure out where the vestiges are. So how long was this planned?
So, basically, I had talked it out with the evil party, we'll say, and I had told them this is where I'm going to put you guys because I have control over your characters. And I want a preference. The evil campaign was very much aware, like, they could be killed, like, at any point, and then their campaign will be over. They were very much okay with that. They're like, yeah, we know what we're getting into.
Yeah.
So when they weren't playing and I was playing with my main group, I told them, like, this is the main campaign, but you guys are the side evil campaign that I like doing with you all. So they had their own things that they were doing and they needed to get done, but they also said they wanted to confront the party. They wanted a reason to face the party. And I was like, how about you guys be a distraction while Vecna's doing something? You could be like his like look over here sort of situation,
Gotcha.
because we are going to beat the living shit out of you essentially.
Right.
And I was like, hey, I'm fine with that, but just know if any of you die, you better be okay with it. And they're like, we're totally fine with that. And I was like, okay.
So about how long do you suppose?
It took from when you guys were from the session after you left the Feywild with the ship. That is how long I planned.
Dang. So what? 2.5, 3 months?
Right about that, yeah. I would 2.5, 3 months. And you guys had just made it back to the city, and I was like, yep, this is where it's going to happen. And I had everything planned. And mind you, the evil campaign, they were much higher level than you guys. Like, I don't know if that was obvious. They were much higher level.
It was painfully obvious.
But they also had more magic items than you, but there was also less of them compared to you all. There was 6 of you guys and 4 of them.
Yeah.
So the chances of winning were still there. It just required different rolling. You guys were not rolling very good. Like, you guys got 2 crits that entire fight. I got 7.
Yeah, we were
I
rolling
got
dog water.
7 crits that entire fight. That's why I was doing so well. And I had knocked down Tat and T at least once that entire fight, which was keeping your healers focused on themselves and not on you. And then Lanestra basically had to pick up the slack and start healing people. And she's not the greatest healer. She can just kind of like keep everyone sort of up.
Val and Varici even had to do lay on hands and cure wounds because I got.
Well, you had to use healing light. Like you had to use all of it.
Yeah, I had to use all of it. But I think this is where we're going to wrap it up here tonight.
But yeah, I will just leave them with this because you guys didn't immediately go to the Feywild. You guys went to the Hells after this, so that's where we're gonna go because we're gonna take place in the Hells, Layer 5. Would you like to know, as a player now playing through that campaign, what the subterfuge was hiding?
Yes,
or
I do.
Kind of figured it out?
I was just about to ask that. Yes.
Okay. So the subterfuge that was being sort of like hidden behind the party was Vecna was in the Feywild, fucking shit up, and basically ripping and tearing at the plane of chaos and life itself, because he was, for a more better term, charging something. And he needed like the most chaotic energy for that, and that comes from the Feywild. And so Vecna kind of just walked in with his army that he had been generating from undeath, and with his already laid in fake archfey, opened the portal for him, and he just kind of stepped through and just started ripping and tearing through all of the Feywild. And he basically placed a curse on the Feywild that as this thing siphoned energy, it would get stronger and it would protect itself, and it started poisoning the Feywild.
Yeah, that's right.
But you guys didn't go immediately to the Feywild. You're like, we need to go get this item for Lanestra because we just got our asses handed to us and we need more power now.
And we knew that time worked differently in different worlds. But we're going to wrap this up here,
Absolutely.
guys. And the best one, wonderful, masterful storytelling that was playing through, just even reliving the memories. It's just, it still gives me goosebumps when I think about some of the great battles and the heart-wrenching realizations and the role play and everything. It was just it was so good. And I just want to give you a little hand of applause. Yay.
Oh, I thank you. But I'm still not gonna save your characters that are coming up in this up and coming campaign that we're doing.
Yes, Unholy Ginger. It would, wouldn't it? I'm sorry, just answering chat. But
You're
we're
fine.
going to wrap it up here tonight, guys. Once again, we want to thank everyone, all our followers. We want to thank the viewers, people that are interacting with us. We're trying to grow our community base. We're trying to make this bigger and bigger and improve and learn as we go and try to make something really amazing out of this. If you want to show your support, even just a little bit, feeling generous, go visit our Patreon. It's on our Facebook and our YouTube. It's on all our platforms, all the links you will need. And if you even want to donate $1 to the Unnaturals, that would go a long way and help us out. Like we're trying to grow this into something better. So it go towards like better equipment, better what uh I don't know if I can say more, but like merch and stuff that's coming up, it would help
Hmm.
for all that, for custom artwork and other kinds of things, to commission artists to do all kinds of stuff like that, and it would really help out a lot. And it even helps out if you guys just follow, follow us on YouTube, on Facebook.
Hmm.
Ring that notification bell on Facebook. Join the Unnatural family. It really helps us out a lot, and we need it, and we want it, and we love all you guys for showing the support that you have. And also, we cannot forget our partners with Streamlabs and Ultra. And like I said, anyone that's out there that's wanting to start their content creation journey, we cannot recommend Streamlabs Ultra enough. And it,
Yep.
it's what we use. It's how we make everything look good. It's how we make everything seem like unique to us as individuals with our own creative outlet. And we highly recommend it to anyone else who's wanting to start. And if you do, send us your first video, because we want to check out everyone's creativity, and it's going to be amazing to see all those. If you have anything you want to, watch our videos, leave a comment. We'll always reply back to the comments, man, and we will get back to everyone that comments and answer any questions you guys need. So just don't be afraid to reach out, to comment on any of our videos. We'll check them out. I promise they will be read. And that's it from me. The best one. What do you got?
Other than my games that I'm streaming via Octopath Traveler and now my solo Baldur's Gate 3
That's
campaign
right.
that I'm doing, we also have our Together Baldur's Gate that we run. I believe we try to do it on Friday nights. Just that's when me and you can get together and stream. Um, but other than that,
Oh,
that's about
I
all I
do.
have.
I do have
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to remember. I
Yes.
am considering running a Pokemon Nuzlocke on uh,
Ooh.
a platform. It doesn't matter what it is. I was thinking, like, if I really wanted to hate myself, do Radical Red. And is it gonna? And I was thinking, if it's gonna be Radical Red, let's make it worth it, the heartache and the pain, and stream it live, and maybe do a mono type run, hardcore Nuzlocke on Radical Red, or
Well,
Wilting
you have fun
Bot,
with that.
or whatever platform, Scarlet, Violet, it doesn't really matter. Like I've got a few ideas. I'm gonna throw some polls out there on our socials for everyone to
Yep. You just need to
throw
find a
their
way to
vote.
record Scarlet and Violet.
Oh yeah, I'll find it. When there's a will, there's a way. I got my personal IT guy in the best one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and I'm also going to be running my own solo Baldur's Gate. Also, I'm going to try and push through the Mass Effect, and as soon as I get pushed through the Mass Effect journey through the first game, maybe the second or third, I don't know how far I'm going to push them off or do them all clustered together. I'm going to try and push through it. Then I'm
We
going to
gotta
do
get
the
through all of them eventually.
yeah, then I'm going to do the Dragon Age games, because Veilguard and Dragon Age, between Mass
Hmm.
Effect and Dragon Age is my favorite of the two franchises. I know some people think that's blasphemy and they have their own opinions. I'm sorry, that's just it is what it is. I like sci-fi games, not as much as fantasy, medieval kind of sorcery and dragons kind of game. I love the Dragon Age franchise. I want to do Dragon Age Awakening, Dragon Age Origins, Awakening, and all the DLC. Dragon Age 2, Dragon Age Inquisition with all the DLC, and then get Veilguard and do Veilguard, because I'm so excited about that and I really want to play it. No spoilers, anybody. No I'm talking to you, audience. No spoilers. So
Okay.
that's
Um.
what I got in the pipeline, and that's it for me. The
Yeah.
actual it for me.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really know what other games I'll be streaming eventually. I do want to eventually do the rest of the Bravely Default series as well as the rest of the Octopath series. Um, Obviously, I will eventually do the other Final Fantasy games, and then if the worst one talks me into it, we may do a co-op Nuzlocke run together, but that's dependent on
Ooh,
if we
a
if
Soul
I can be
Link.
talked into it.
What about a hardcore Nuzlocke Soul Link scenario?
Hmm. So you would be in charge if our Pokemon die?
Yeah, I'm being paged to end this. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Well,
sorry
we'll end it
guys.
here. But again, thank you all for watching, subbing, subscribing, following, all the in between. Please use our affiliate link if you try to stream through Streamlabs Ultra, as it will support us, as well as you can also check out our Patreon and our TikTok, our Facebook, our Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. But as the worst one will say,
Have an unnatural evening, guys.